get to this nigga in the morning.
10 years later, man, and I think The Life of Pablo is one of those Ye albums that's like impossible to separate from that era it came from. And this is actually like the first Ye rollout that I felt like I was genuinely a part of. I was a junior in high school when this dropped, and bro, I was locked in on this shit, bro. I remember like copping the I Feel Like Pablo merch before the album dropped, and watching the notepad update in real time, refreshing Twitter because Ye was tweeting a lot around that time. The random Wiz Khalifa and Ye beef that happened. The album title was changing every other day. The track list was also changing. The release date, literally everything, bro. It felt like an event, bro. It honestly felt like we were watching this album being created in real time. Other than like us watching like raw studio footage, we saw everything else that was going on with this project. It was surreal. And I'll be real, that's what made this era so much fucking fun, bro. Like, you really had to be there. Nowadays, when an album drops, everything is like organized and calculated. You get the rollout, you get the singles and the interviews and the music videos, and then the album just comes out. But The Life of Pablo, bro, we had no idea what was going on with that shit. One day it was so-called like So Help Me God, and then Swish, and then Waves, and then eventually it became The Life of Pablo. Ye was on Twitter arguing with people, bro, posting screenshots of the track list, talking about the album being unfinished, and everybody was just trying to figure out what the fuck was happening, bro. And somehow that chaos made the album feel even bigger, honestly. And the entire period was probably the most fun I've ever had following music, because it generally felt like something was actually happening every single day. And now 10 years later, bro, and the actual music holds up really well. My personal favorites are probably Highlights, Freestyle 4, 30 Hours, but even songs like St. Pablo still sound incredible to me. And that's probably the biggest thing I've noticed revisiting this album in 2026. It doesn't really sound dated, Obviously, there are certain moments where you can hear that 2016 sound, especially something like Famous or Father Stretch My Hands. But the production feels like, it feels amazing. There's gospel, soul, house, trap, R&B, chop samples, weird vocal effects. Ye basically threw all these different sounds into one project and somehow made it sound cohesive. I also think The Life of Pablo has aged better because it feels less like a traditional album and more like a snapshot in a specific moment in Ye's life. And you can hear the insecurity, the ego, the spirituality, the relationships, the fame, the chaos, all of it. It's messy, but that's the kind of point. And knowing everything that happened with the album after it dropped makes the whole thing even more interesting. Ye kept updating it after release, adding St. Pablo weeks after, changing mixes, fixing songs, and basically treating the album like a living project. And that's something you almost never see at the scale. And it made The Life of Pablo feel like it was constantly evolving. But man, bro, looking back 10 years later, it's crazy. First of all, time flies. But I don't think The Life of Pablo is just an album I remember because of the music. I remember where I was in, like literally where I was at in life, bro, where it came out. I remember being a junior in high school, being on Twitter, seeing the Ye tweets, talking about the album with my friends, wearing the merch, and just experiencing all the fucking madness as it happened. That's something that music could do to literally anybody, right? An album that became, or actually becomes, attached to a specific period of your life. And The Life of Pablo is definitely one of those albums for me, man. 10 years later, I could throw it on and still get that same feeling, bro. And honestly, that's probably the best compliment I could give it. Let me know what you guys think. The Life of Pablo, when did you guys listen to it? What's your experience been like as of recent with this project? Let me know what your thoughts, man. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.